Must-win game for the Michigan State Spartans against a team that I am angry at right now. That's the Nebraska Cornhuskers card. They just ruined my betting day in the 21st consecutive day of losing bets that look like they should win for me. Nebraska blows a 15-point halftime lead at Minnesota and loses by double digits to Minnesota. That's redefining bad. You have asserted Minnesota's going to be the worst team the Big Ten has seen in a very long time. And at least for tonight, Nebraska was worse than them by a lot in the second half. So you're on the road. This is in Lincoln. Also, like a bounce back spot for Nebraska now a little bit. That's a little bit scary. The Cake Pops will be out for this one. Let's just start here. It's a must-win game, right?
Yeah, it's absolutely a must-win game. We're actually very familiar with must-win Nebraska games too. I think back to last season, it was a must-win game at Nebraska, and we found ourselves down 20 points at half and needed a second half masterclass by both Jay Nakins and Tyson Walker and AJ Hogard, and honestly everybody to come back in that basketball game and win. But there's something we need to make extremely clear. This game right here, if we lose, I'm done. I'm done with this team this year. I am done. I'm serious. Like it's over. It is over.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Start looking towards next season. Hopefully we fix some things. This season is officially cooked.
You deserve to get shit from Malik and Ryan the Lion in the Discord for this.
If we lose Nebraska, our season's not over.
No, because it's December 10th.
But come on, you look at it, you look at it from this point. It's December 10th. We get to December 16th, and our best win is at home against Butler, and we have losses to Wisconsin at home, Nebraska on the road, James Madison at home, Duke, all these teams, all these losses, and dogfights against Southern Indiana, low key, it's scary. It's a scary thought, and I think I think the season is cooked. To be honest with you, if we lose to Nebraska, come on, man, it's Nebraska.
What if you win this game? What if you win this game? I don't want to just doom and gloom this.
If we win this game, it'll be massive. If we win this game and then we beat Baylor, we're back.
Okay, we're not going to head to Baylor. We're going to have a whole precap for Baylor or preview for Baylor in a week. I am this is a very quiet stretch for Michigan State in the sense you haven't played a lot of games. Like from November 28th to December 16th. There were only 3 games on the schedule in 3 weeks. That's kind of crazy. I think a lot of teams have that, but you just had a full week off before Wisconsin. And after this Nebraska game, you're about to have a full week off before Baylor. I don't know a lot of teams that are getting full weeks off repeatedly right now, I guess, unless everybody is, and I'm not aware of that. But do you think the rest is a bad thing? Some people tried to tell me that with the Wisconsin game, and I kind of rolled my eyes about it.
No, I don't think so. Especially with the team and the sickness things that were going around, the days off probably helped. And I think this team needs it because they need to also mentally refocus. And I think a couple of days off would do a lot for that instead of just going back-to-back games. I don't know. A lot of people work differently with that, play games so you don't think about it as much. But this, you're right. I do have to work on not coming on here and being like, this is a must-win game and things like that. But at the end of the day, if we want to be taken seriously and we want to still reach the goals of being, in the upper echelon of the Big Ten, you win games on the road at Nebraska. Good teams beat Nebraska. If you're a good basketball team, you beat Nebraska. Bad basketball teams lose to Nebraska.
Do good teams lose to Nebraska?
I guess Minnesota. Yeah, you know what? Minnesota might be good. There.
I just going through last season, Nebraska beat Iowa at home. They beat Ohio State at home. They beat Penn State at home. They beat Wisconsin at home. They beat Maryland at home.
Nebraska was sneaky good last year though. Griesel, Walker, Kisei. That was a good team. Bamadelli. I actually liked that Nebraska team. more than I like this year's team.
Who was the last guy you just said?
Bamadelli, I believe his last name was.
Bailadelli?
Bamadelli, I believe his last name was.
Bamadelli.
Yeah, number 25.
Oh, yeah, that's not a guy. You're talking about Emmanuel Bandumel.
Yeah, him.
Yeah, not Bamadelli. I'm like, you're definitely just making up guys right now.
No, my fault. My bad.
That's a nice callback to our College Hoops to Go episode where on the way to Nebraska in the car, I'm quizzing you on Nebraska basketball players. So yeah, you passed the test last year. Apparently, you forget what you studied a year later, but here we are. Yeah, I don't know if Nebraska's good or not this year. I'll just say that because they looked great through 7 games and they played not really anybody. I mean, like they blew out Oregon State, who is bad, but they're a power conference team. They beat Duquesne.
Barely.
They beat Duquesne comfortably, and Duquesne's a top 100 team on KenPom. So like there was reason to believe this Nebraska team was good. Just ask Sleeper's guy. But then the last 2 games have been as disastrous as disaster can be. Like you thought they'd come back refocused from the Creighton game. For 20 minutes they did. They were blowing out Minnesota on the road. And I don't know what happened at halftime. Maybe Fred Hoiberg brought out the cake pops because nobody was ready for the second half.
Yeah, they gave up 52 points to Minnesota in a half.
That's horrendous.
That's horrendous stuff. That's stuff that bad basketball teams do, which leads me to think that Nebraska's a bad basketball team.
Yes, I agree with that. Keisei Tominaga, everybody's favorite, danger man extraordinaire, one of the most fun players in the country to watch. He was hurt to start the season. He's been pretty good this year. I truly don't feel like there's been a Tominaga moment yet, which could be a little scary for Michigan State coming into this game. Is Tominaga the 3rd best player in this game, 2nd best player in this game, best player in this game? What is he?
2nd best.
Behind Tyson?
Yeah.
Okay. You feel confident with that? Like, I think before the season, you might have pushed me on like maybe Jay Nakins is better than Tominaga.
Oh, no, Keisei is clearly the 2nd best player that will be playing in the game tomorrow.
Okay. If you're going down the list of other guys, how many other Nebraska guys are on the list?
Jamarcus Lawrence. Better than Hoggard and Nakins right now. We'll see who else is on Nebraska.
Like Bryce Williams, Rank Mast have both been pretty good.
Yeah, what's Bryce Williams actually been doing? Because I feel like every time I watch him, he's good, but then I go look at the box score and I'm like, not that great.
He's done more than Jamarcus Lawrence by a lot. He's been in double figures almost every game.
I love Jamarcus Lawrence, so I got an affliction.
So I'll say who I think the key for Nebraska is. Mast has been stellar in all of their wins. He has been horrible in their 2 losses. He was double figures in all 7 of the wins. He had 9 points against Creighton, 3 for 11 from the floor that game. Then he just had 4 points in 30 minutes against Minnesota, 2 for 7 in the game. I think he's the key. Like if he's going, Nebraska has enough guys that you're kind of concerned. And if he's not going, they're really one-dimensional with Tominaga.
So if Mast in the front court is going?
Mast in the front court is going, correct.
Interesting. Okay, well, I got just the front court for him to get back on track. Let's just say that.
Yeah, not good. Who do you expect starts for Michigan State in this game? Izzo, according to the post-game stuff, Izzo took accountability and said he was to blame for playing the 2 centers. He also said he was to blame for playing Malik Hall at all. So I don't know how he's blaming himself for doing both of those unless he came to the logical conclusion that everyone on Twitter did, which is you should probably just start Coen Carr at the 4.
He's going to start A.J. Hoggard, Tyson Walker, Trey Holloman, Carson Cooper, Mady Sissoko.
Akins off the bench this game?
He's going to sit Akins, I think.
I think that's insanity if he does that.
It definitely is, but I think he's going to do it.
Yikes. That scares me.
That or Malik Hall at the 1.
Do you think it's just like massive messages being sent? Like, is that the play Izzo's doing right now?
Yeah, like I'm just gonna pull all these random cards, and I don't even think it's to motivate people. I think it's literally just to send a message. It's not really a motivation tactic. It's just like I'm not putting up with this.
You got it. Okay. What do you think?
I think Xavier Booker gets another DNP.
Yeah, probably. I'm expecting that every game at this point.
Just sucks.
Yeah, I'm expecting that every game at this point. It is what it is. Yeah, I'm mentally with Michigan State. I'm just sort of at the point where we have to evaluate this team as if Coen Carr and Xavier Booker don't really exist. And I know Coen Carr's in the rotation, but he's not like he's like what, the eighth guy right now? Like he's not giving you production any game right now. And he was against some of the lesser teams earlier in the season. Even against Duke, I thought he had some moments against Duke that were solid, but
He
like
had some solid. I mean, even that block he had yesterday was nice. But obviously, you're going to get moments like that out of him. Um, Actually, you should acknowledge the fact that Coen Carr finally did something that wasn't a dunky dunk.
yeah, I just missed it. That was the truth. When you
I
were like,
know.
not a donkey dunk, and I was like, I just went up to pee. What happened?
It
So
literally a nice one dribble pull up at the elbow. All net.
that is good. That is good to see. Yeah, it's hard for me to believe anything with him right now when it's like 2 points, 0 points, 7, 11, 0, 2, 3. That's his last 7 games, and
Yeah.
he's only played more than 20 minutes once in those 7 games. That was against Alcorn State. So I don't know. He's just not giving you much, and I think the rebounding numbers are almost as bad. Like he's not rebounding for all the physical athletic gifts he has on a team that needs rebounding. He's not very good at it. So,
Yeah.
um, it
Well, it's
still
because
has
most of the shots are going in the basket.
most of his shots are going in the basket.
No, the other teams are going in the basket.
Oh, that's a fair point.
Hard to rebound.
It's also just hard, man, on a team that like so clearly needs shooting. Like this just isn't the year for Cohen to make an impact. Like he has not attempted a 3-pointer. How can you play that guy big minutes at the 4 with this team? You can't.
Yeah, you can't.
You could play with the 5.
I honestly that's what I thought. Like when he was playing the 5 in that Arizona game for that stretch, like I really liked it. I don't think we've seen that since then, to be honest.
No, the problem is if he plays the 5, Izzo would put Mahdi at the 4 and Carson at the 3. So I don't think I want to push for Cohen at the 5 with that right now. All right. A couple other quick things matchup wise on this for me. Obviously, much has been made about Michigan State shooting 27% on the season from 3. The one thing the Nebraska defense is very good at, taking away the 3-point line.
They don't have to worry about that. We take it away from ourselves.
Teams only shoot 28% from 3 against Nebraska, which is 1% better than Michigan State shoots. So that doesn't feel like a spot that I would expect Michigan State to come in and fix all their shooting woes on the road in Lincoln. Michigan State is pretty good at limiting turnovers. Nebraska does not force turnovers. So I don't think like you're going to see a game where AJ Hogarth's off the rails with 7 turnovers or anything. In fact, that leads me to a prediction. I think this is an AJ Hogarth game.
Really? What does that look like?
I think this is an actually good AJ Hogarth game too. Like not an AJ Hogarth game where he has 17 and 6 and 4, and then you're giving me the minus 18 along with it. Like wait, AJ was actually the best player on the floor this game. I think that could happen.
Like AJ hits a 3 and grabs a cake pop to go up 20.
Maybe at the end. Like I definitely think there's going to be some flexing from AJ in this game.
I think that we are going to win this basketball game with nobody playing that great.
That's such a sad prediction.
No, I mean, I just think that we're going to do great things defensively. Defensively, I think it's going to be a pretty special performance by us. Like, I think we're going to really lock down on that end. But I think that we're still not going to be hitting shots like that. We're just going to make enough plays by different guys. Like our leading scorer is going to have 14 points. And the next guy is going to have like 9. And we're going to win 60-52.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. I think if your team does not have anybody play well, like if that's the takeaway at the end of the game, like, nobody played well, I think you lose the game. I'll say that. I think this Nebraska team has enough stuff to them and enough talent that you actually have to show up. Case in point, Minnesota. Like Minnesota no-showed the first half. They were getting steamrolled. And then Minnesota showed up, played great in the second half, and they won the game. I think Michigan State needs that. They need to actually show up and play great, or at least good. And like I said, I am predicting that will happen. I am predicting AJ Hogarth is the reason why, but it needs to happen, and it hasn't happened yet.
Why am I not coming on here just being like, what are we talking about? Like we're Michigan State and they're Nebraska. Like we're going to win 75-50.
Isn't it because Nebraska's talent isn't that far behind this Michigan State team's talent until the freshmen start playing?
And that's an issue.
I mean, Mast is an objectively good player. Bryce Williams would be a starter for Michigan State. Tominaga would start for Michigan State. Like
Mass will be our starting big.
I think Nebraska has 3 guys that would start for Michigan State.
Like right now, currently.
Yeah, and be an impact player. Like I think Bryce Williams, Tominaga, and Rank Mast would all be impact players for you.
Yeah, I think so too.
But that's again like the thing about Michigan State was they're supposed to be deep outside of those 3. Like maybe Jawan Gary might play a little bit, but I don't think a lot of other guys on Nebraska would do much. So you just got to limit those 3. Final question for me: is Michigan State going to want this one?
Yes, Michigan State is going to want this.
Are we sure? Like, we're like, if they're down 15 and they're 0 for 11 from 3, is it just they don't want to make those threes enough?
No, I think they're going to want it.
Okay. Like, can we do a halftime check-in on that? Can you promise me like a nice public-facing halftime check-in on if Michigan State wants it or not?
I'm literally just going to have a video and it's going to be like, they want it or they don't want it. That's it.
That's honestly, I think I would like that at halftime of every single game for Michigan State this year. I just want a 6-second video wherever you are where you just flip the camera. Oh, didn't see there? They want it or they don't want it.
Got it. Lock it in.
Okay. Thank you. Go green, go white. I hope you get one, Card. I hope this week was the saddest we will ever be talking about our teams this year.
If I know anything about me and sadness, it won't.